look at why it's important not to chase or pursue a man, but instead give him the space to pursue you. So there's an art to doing this, to where you can give a man space, you can be responsive, you can let him know you're interested, but especially in those initial phases, you want to lay the groundwork for the man to invest in you. And so in response, as women, we want to be able to show appreciation to foster a loving, balanced relationship. So we're going to dive into some feminine energy patterns today. But it's important that you set this pattern in early dating from the very beginning, because we want to attract high value masculine energy men. So we want the man to make the decision, okay, I'm going to pursue this woman, I'm going to invest in her. We want him to be the one to initiate. Okay, so if you're not used to that, I can help you develop the skills that you need and the mindset in order to do that. But first, let's identify what chasing a man looks like. So chasing a man can manifest in various behaviors and actions that indicate that you are actively pursuing a man more aggressively or persistently than he is pursuing you. So here's some common examples that I want to share with you today. First, over initiating contact. Now, I'm of the school, I believe that the man should initiate the very first contact when in pursuing a woman. And you may say, okay, how do you do that? Well, if you're in a room and there's a man that you are interested in, you can look at him, you can smile at him, look away, look back. If you look back a second time and smile at him, he's going to say, okay, she's interested. If he is available and if he's interested in you, then all you have to do is be receptive, stay in position, and he will come over to where you are if he is a masculine energy man. So you want to let the man make the first move. You want to let him ask for your phone number. A lot of times men will give a woman their number and say, okay, reach out to me, because they're not sure if she's interested or they're just trying to be polite. That's okay. If a man gives you his number, it's okay to reach out. Or alternatively, you can just say, hey, here's my number in return. But if he gives you his number, it's okay to reach out, to text him, call him, whatever he asks you to do. So we want to be careful about texting a man. I personally don't believe that a woman should ask a man out. I'm old school. Now, I'm not saying that it's forbidden, and I'm not saying that it may not work in some situations. But I think once you express your interest, from there, let him step up and let him ask you out. So we don't want to overshare personal details or feelings too prematurely in an attempt to create a deeper connection with a man too quickly. So we want to kind of pace him out. We want to lean back, see what he's willing to invest, and then express appreciation for what he does do. If he reaches out, you can say, hey, it feels great to hear from you. If he asks you out, definitely at the end of the date, express your appreciation and say, hey, I had an amazing time, if you did. If you're not interested in going further, it's perfectly fine to let him know in a kind and diplomatic way. But we don't want to be pushy, okay? We want to be an invitation. So we don't want to be aggressive. We want a man to feel like it's his choice, that he's stepping up of his own volition. So, because what happens is, and I have actually coached and counseled women in these situations, I have talked to women who are frustrated because they feel like their husband is not stepping up. They feel like they're having to do all the work. And I asked them, I'm like, okay, who did the main pursuing when y'all were dating? And the woman always said, I did. So you don't, what the pattern that you set from the get-go, from day one, is going to be the pattern that is set if you do somehow end up marrying this man. So we want to make sure we lay the right foundation from the beginning. And so, ladies, you don't want to be over invested in a man more than the level of investment that he is willing to give to you. So you don't want to show up unannounced at places where you know he's going to be. That's chasing. You don't want to initiate physical contact unless you're in a committed relationship. You don't really want to lean in and kiss him first. You don't want to put your hands all over him. No, you want him to express his physical affection first in the beginning. And so also, don't try to mother a man. Don't try to give him advice unless he asks for it. Don't jump in there and say, hey, I'm going to help you with this project unless he asks. Now, if you're married to a man or you're in a committed relationship, it's a little bit different. But I'm talking about the early stages. And so the way to end up from the early stages of dating a man to a committed relationship and marriage is to let him lead from the beginning and then continue to let him lead throughout the relationship. So when you get into chasing behavior, that really messes up the feminine masculine polarity, because ladies, just like two magnets, have to have a positive and a negative. There has to be that attraction between the feminine energy and the masculine energy, or a man will stop pursuing, or he will lose physical attraction and emotional attraction. So if you start chasing a man or coming off too aggressive, it will feel like drama to a man, and it will make him back up and pull back. So think about, and it's like an energy bubble, okay? You've got the man here, the woman here. Think of them being inside of a bubble. And so if the woman starts pursuing or coming too strong to him, what's going to happen? He's going to push back. And so the best thing to do if you're in a relationship or you're dating a man and he has kind of pull back more. If he takes space, give him more space, because just like a rubber band can only be pulled so far before it has to spring forth. So sometimes men will pull away for various reasons. Let them pull away. Don't chase them, because they can only stretch so far before they're going to have to come back. So when a man shows up, when he's investing in you, when he's pursuing you, you want to give him gratitude and praise. Recognize his efforts, his strengths, his positive qualities. Now, this needs to be authentic. It can't be fake, but you can use verbal affirmations. You can compliment him. One of the best ways to compliment a man is to think about his character. Think about things that he does that you like. Maybe you can say, hey, that was really a wise decision. Or, hey, I've noticed that you keep your word, and that really impresses me. Because, ladies, your words have power with a man. And so what you focus on, what you praise, you're going to see more of it. And so I read a book a number of years ago. There was a woman who was a journalist, and she had studied how people train whales. And so and whales, are huge animals. And so the animal trainers, what they would do is this. When the animal would engage in a positive behavior or a behavior that they wanted the whale to engage in, they would give that whale a positive affirmation by a treat. They would give the whale a fish or some kind of treat. But when the whale did something negative, they didn't chastise it, they didn't punish it, they just didn't give it a reward. They ignored it. And so, whatever type of behavior you reward with your attention and with your positive words, that behavior is going to grow. And so, even the author of the book, she was talking about how sometimes her husband would get mad, he would lose his keys, and he would kind of pitch a little bit of a fit. And so what she would do, she would just ignore it. She would go into the other room. She didn't give it any notice. And before too long, when he would do something, positive, she would reward it with her affirmation. And it wasn't too long before those negative behaviors kind of disappeared. And so I've done this. If someone gives me something negative, I ignore it. And so it's not too long before they realize, okay, if I continue to throw this negative stuff out there, Dana is not going to give me any attention. And then when they do something positive, I'll respond, and then I will see their behavior change. I've done that before with a family member. So you want to give a man, you can show him praise and affirmation by giving him your undivided attention, by really listening, because it is rare for men to really have someone who really listens to them. And I read something on social media the other day, some woman, I don't know who she was, but she was commenting, well, why are men always wanting women to listen to them? Because it shows you care about them. It shows you're interested in them. So if you go on a date with a man, you don't even have to say a lot. Just listen. Just focus. And so a number of years ago, I started dating a man. He was very successful and very, very busy. And so when we would go out on dates, I really didn't talk that much. I just listened to him. And he just ate it up because I think he was lonely. And so he really appreciated the fact I would just sit there and listen to him for 2 hours, over dinner. I didn't really say a lot. And he just ate that up because men just love it when women really pay them attention. Put your phone down, give him eye contact, and listen to what he says. Don't think about what you're going to say next. Listen to what he's saying. Respond to what he's saying. That is such a huge gift to a man. Also, you can give a man a physical touch just by putting your hand on his shoulder. If he holds your hand, hold his hand. Let him hold your hand. Just gentle touches mean so much to men. Also, you can kiss them on the cheek, or just if a man comes over to your house, just hug him and say, hey, I'm so happy to see you. Just things like being attentive, listening, those gentle touches mean so much to a man, and it lets them know that they are appreciated. So also, you can, as you get more into a committed relationship, you can show a man acts of service. You can surprise him with a favorite meal. You can just be supportive. Just listen to him and say, hey, honey, you're going to come through this. I trust. One of the best things you can say to a man, if he's going through something, just listen to him without judgment and just say, hey, I trust you to figure this out. That means so much to a man. Men just want to feel our trust. They want to feel our gratitude. They want to feel that we really care and that we're listening to what they're saying. Also, men love it if you give them a compliment in front of friends or family or colleagues. Let's say that you're at John's house and y'all are dating and his family is there. You can brag on John in front of his family and say, John did the greatest thing for me. He brought me flowers for my birthday. He took me out. We had a great celebration, and watched John's chest just puff up. So men love that. Just simple acknowledgement. So ladies, to sum this up, lean back,